my channel. My name is Neha and you're watching Gimme Australia. So this is the fourth video in the 5-part series that I am doing, wherein I am helping you to find your dream house here in Australia. So in today's video, I will be talking about the inspection process and also about the application process. So let's get started with the video. Once you have shortlisted a couple of houses, the next step is to book in an inspection. So what happens in an inspection is that you go to the house, you inspect it, you look around and finalize whether you like it or not. The entire process to book an inspection has been documented by me in one of my videos. I will link the video up here so you can check it out. But let us understand what happens in the actual inspection. So what happens in an inspection is that you have a slot of about 5 to 10 minutes. There will be other people who would have also booked an inspection, so they might be coming along as well. But when you have your inspection, sometimes that is your dedicated time, especially due to COVID and due to social distancing, you get a dedicated time to inspect the house. So you need to be quick and you need to be really observant to look around and see whether this fits your expectations or not. Now, once you've inspected the house, you'll get some time to talk to the real estate agent. There are a couple of important questions that you must ask after inspecting the house. So the first important question that you need to ask your real estate agent is about electricity. So you need to ask them whether the electricity is embedded, that is, that the provider, the service provider is chosen by the owner, or whether you can switch providers. Yes, you have an option to switch electricity providers according to your needs, according to the cost, if you're allowed to do so, like we have done. So in our older apartment, the entire building had the same electricity provider, but in my current house, I have the option to switch provider. So we switched to a provider which was providing us electricity at a lower cost, but was efficient as well. So if you have that option, of course, use that, get a provider of your choice. Maybe you can save some money, but if that is not possible, you will have to go with the provider that the building owner is providing. The next question that you should ask your real estate agent is about the maintenance that your new house would require. Do you need to cut the grass? Do you need to mow the lawn? Do you have a backyard that has a lot of grass? Do you have a front yard that has a lot of grass? Who is supposed to cut the grass? Ask all of this. Usually the people who live in the house, the tenants, are required to mow the grass, to cut the grass both in the front and the backyard. So you need to be aware of your responsibilities as a tenant. The next important question is about the walls. So here you cannot put a nail and hang stuff. You need to seek for permission before doing that. Can you paint the wall? Can you stick things on the wall? You need to ask all of this to your real estate agent whether you're allowed this or not. The next one is about the rubbish. So if you live in a building, there are chances that you might have a refuse chute. So a rubbish chute where you can go and drop in your garbage. But if you live in a house like I am living in an independent house, you may need to put your rubbish once a week on the road so that the people who come to collect the garbage can come and collect it. So you should know that what are your responsibilities with respect to the rubbish, and also when do these people from the council come to pick up the garbage. You can check that on the council website as well, or maybe you can ask your real estate agent. They might help you with this as well. The next question is about parking. Do you have a dedicated garage like we have, or is it a street parking system? You need to ask about parking because that's a very important factor when you are finding your house. You need to be sure where you can park your car. So please ask that question. This next question might sound silly, but it is very important and needs to be asked. So please ask your real estate agent whether you're allowed to hang your laundry out in the balcony or in the backyard to air dry or not. Believe me, in my older apartment, I was not allowed to do so, and it was a big trouble for me because I am used to air drying my laundry, and since I was not allowed to do so, it was really difficult for me. But in this house, of course, I have a backyard, I have a private backyard, and I can just air dry my laundry. So please ask whether you're allowed to do that or not. Now, once you have decided that this is the house and you have shortlisted and you have made your mind that this is the house that you want to live in, the next question that you need to ask your real estate agent is that how long is the lease duration. So sometimes the lease duration is 1 year, but at other times they may also have it for 6 months. So what happens is that you get the lease for just 6 months, and after 6 months the owner might decide that you have to move out of the house, or you may extend your lease. 6 months is a short time period, so it's better that you choose a house that allows you to lease it for like 1 year, at least minimum 1 year. 6 months is not preferred because moving houses is not easy, and of course the rent gets increased after your lease duration, so that is also something you should keep in mind. And the next thing is that when you come to the house and you see that there are certain damages on the wall or maybe on the floor, maybe the locks are broken, just take pictures of all of that, and you can keep that as a copy, as a proof, so that once you move out of the house, you have something to show that these were the damages that were already there before you moved into the house, and you are not responsible for them. Remember, this is very important, otherwise you might have to pay a lot of penalty because of these damages which was done by someone else. Honestly, I like plain white walls. That's just me. I don't like to hang a lot of pictures and artwork on the walls. So this white color looks good to me, but comment down below if you like to keep your walls colorful, or do you prefer it plain Jane white like me? I would love to know that from you. Now you have shortlisted the house. The real estate agent will ask you to apply for the house. Now, a lot of real estate companies have their own application form, but there's a standard form in Australia that is used to apply for houses, and that is called the 1F. I will now run you through the application form. So it asks for a lot of details. You will need to have a lot of patience and give it a lot of time to fill in all these forms. It asks about sometimes your bank details, a lot of ID proofs, your salary slips, a lot of reference check happens, and even after submitting all these forms, you might not get the house. So you need to be mentally prepared for all of this. It totally depends on the owner. So there might be 5 people who like the house and they may be applying for the house, they may be submitting all the documents, but it depends on the owner who they want to rent the house to. So definitely you need to be mentally strong. You need to give it a lot of time. It's a time-taking process, but yeah, if all the documents are good, they look good to the owner, of course you will get the house. So let me take you through the entire process of applying for a house here in Australia.
So once you're on the OneForm website, create a free account for yourself and then start your new application. Now you can see there are a number of tabs that you need to fill. The first one is the property details. So write down the address of the house that you are willing to move in. Write down the postcode, the suburb, the state, and everything else. The next one is the property manager details. So who is managing your property? You have to give in all of those details. I'm just randomly typing a few things because of course I'm not applying for a new property. This is just to show you. The next is the lease details. So preferred commencement date of the lease, how long the lease would be. You have to also write down the weekly rent, and on the basis of that, the monthly rent and the bond will be calculated. The most important point to keep in mind over here is, why is this property right for you? Please elaborate on this. Please let the property manager or the owner know why are you the right person for this house. So make the best use of this space which is provided to you. Then you will have to write the details of the occupants. So all of the people who would be living in that house, including your children, your spouse, your friends, or whosoever. You have to write their age as well, and do you want the occupant to be on the lease agreement or not? So as I've told you in a couple of my own videos that I am on the lease agreement. So my and my husband's name are both on the lease agreement. We have also used that as an ID proof for our spouse visa. So yeah, that can be a good ID proof. So you can have both you and your spouse's name on the lease agreement. Then you have to add in the details about your car. So how many cars you have and how are you related to the person who's also going to live in the same property. The number of options. Have you inspected the property? There are a lot of questions, and as I told you, it will require a lot of time. So then there are a lot of questions again over here. I've just randomly selected no for everything, but you please give it some time, give it some thought, and carefully answer these questions. Then moving services. And the last one, the last important one, is the identification and supporting documents. So as you can see, you can add in your driver's license, passport. There are a lot of things that you can attach over here, your pay slips, bank statements, etc. Attach as many documents as you can to provide a solid proof that you are capable of renting this house. You will be paying your rent on time, just to make the owner believe in you a little bit more. So you can attach all your documents here, and the last two tabs are just declaration and then reviewing the form before submitting it. So once you are done with all of that, you can see that on the screen you have an option to send the application once you have reviewed it. So if you remember, in the first tab where we were talking about the property details, we had entered the name of the property manager and the email address. So when you click send application, the application will be sent directly to your property manager. Now in some other cases, the property manager might have their own personal form for their real estate agency, so you might have to fill that, but it's similar to one form. You will have to add the same documents that you have done in the one form.
So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you found it useful. In case you have any questions, please don't forget to comment down below. I would love to address them. And in case we have a lot of questions, I will make a separate video to address those concerns. I hope you enjoyed watching all the 4 videos of the 5-part series that I made. And the finale video, that is my house tour, is coming pretty soon. So watch this space. And if you like this video, give it a big fat thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel. Keep watching my channel for the upcoming home tour. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.